the frustration in Africa, especially in Ghana and Nigeria, especially with the youth, when it comes to their living standard and how poor it's become and how poor it's gradually turning into. I mean, it used to be very bad, but now it's moving from bad to worse. And there's not only in Ghana and Nigeria. I mean, I'm speaking about Ghana and Nigeria because that's where I know most people from, and I've had most of my experiences with regards to where I live and the people that I know that have shared their story with me. But when you go to somewhere like Kenya, like the Kenyan youth quite recently had a protest against some government decisions that they didn't like. And it's not only in Kenya, some parts of Africa, people are going through some harsh living conditions that they don't like. South Africa is part, but I mean, somebody can argue, it's arguable because South Africa has a better living standard than most of the African countries that I know of. But regardless, in Africa, there's a whole lot of living standard crisis that most of the people in Africa are going through. It's not specifically the youth, right? But I'm speaking from the youth perspective, right? But most of the people in my country, for instance, now quite recently are complaining about the living standard and how crazy it is that most of the times you go to the market to purchase something. By the time you realize maybe something you got as a less price, you go there and they've increased like more than 100% of the price, and it's without even being informed. And most people are finding ways to like live. It's like there's no other option but to find ways to survive, because it's not like you can go and then resign that you won't do the life again or anything like that. But you have no other option but to survive. And it introduces a very interesting topic. Okay, how can we solve a problem, right? Because we have a problem, right? And the problem, some are saying, is leadership issues. I mean, our leaders are not able to sort of organize the countries or the various African countries like maybe their compatriots in other countries or European or American countries, right? And people are seriously blaming it on leadership issues, why there's a lot of corruption and disbursement of government funds. I mean, funds that are supposed to be used to help the citizens to do their private things and personal projects. Now, these issues are allegations. Most of it are allegations, even if we have different level of proofs, because I mean it's very difficult to actually come out with solid proof to back the claims, because these same people are very, very powerful, and most of these people are the same people that are holding the legal system. So it's almost impossible to actually have a firm grasp on how to actually solve the problem if you are looking at it from a leadership issue or a leadership crisis kind of perspective, because Charlie, these are the same people that are holding the system. So it's basically impossible. Yes, it's impossible. It's because I mean, if it was possible, most people and most of us would be able to sort of by now we should have made progress, because most people are pointing hands that this is the leadership issue and stuff, and it might not precisely be the leadership issue. Maybe there are other aspects of the issues or other aspects of the problem that we are not looking at. And how can we best find or define our frustration or channel our frustration in a better way with what we have? That's why I'm here today. How can we redefine the terms and conditions of our struggles in Africa, especially in where I find myself in Ghana, and maybe in a certain, to a large extent, Nigeria, and in Africa as a whole. So I think the resources here are minimal, okay, and we have gifted people that are full of talents, full of natural capacities that they can actually hold certain positions and actually run a certain kind of a community of like-minded people that can actually take from maybe progress one aspect of the society, right? One aspect of a community in Africa here. Let's say I'm in Ghana. We have people that are very good in tech, people that are very good in, they are innate. It's natural. These people, we meet these people instinctively. They know how to do stuff. But the whole point is like the help. The system is not there to support them, because these same people or these same leaders that we are talking about naturally will give or normally give they find ways to actually give some of these opportunities that are available. The opportunities are actually very limited, and they find ways to actually give these opportunities to their own people. So now there are people that now it's all about connection, who you know, and how good your network system is. Either than that, you might perish with your talents, and by the time you realize you're an old man who has not been able to account for the talent that nature bestowed on him or her. So how can we best redefine this whole problem that I am talking about? Now, I feel like there's a way that we can also help ourselves in this whole economic crisis. I mean, to find our ways to make ourselves useful, find a way to educate ourselves. Even if the resources are few, how can we be useful, right? Self-education. Now we have the internet, right? You have the internet. The internet is a wonderful place now. You can literally learn a lot of stuff. I mean, you can go to YouTube and a lot of people are putting such comments like, Charlie, these are the things that, I mean, there are certain content on YouTube that you can actually watch and you realize that, no, this is something I should have even paid for, right? In a certain kind of way, you are paying for it because you are using data, which is, I mean, you bought with your currency. And, but there's a lot of free information online that I feel like sometimes if, let's say you are a graphic designer, a video editor, there's a whole lot of how-tos on how to improve on your gifts. There's a whole lot of how-tos on how to improve on your gifts as a teacher, as a computer a computer student, or even as a medical student or as a nurse. There's a whole lot of content online on YouTube and other platforms that you can use to actually promote yourself and make yourself a very heavy, like as in you become you'll be able to help yourself in this situation whereby people are not the people that we are looking out for to be of a certain help for us are not able to do it, right? Because I feel like we should take the power upon ourselves. All right, I feel it's becoming frustrating because it's like we are waiting on something to happen, something extraordinary to happen. But Charlie, I've lived in Africa for a while, okay, for God knows how long I'll be here. I was born here, born and bred here. And Charlie, I'm telling you, in this side of the world, most of the leaders, most of the people, the bosses and the authority figures that you see, most of them, they don't care about the people that are under them. That's the gospel truth. It's all about who you can outsmart to make more money, right? And it's the game is the game, right? The game is the game, and the more you sit down and then we sit down as you to actually wait for these people to come and help us in a certain way, I feel the more frustrating it gets. So I think if you are able to sort of ball up and then find means to progress ourselves and find ways to improve ourselves personally. I mean, we can read. There's a way you can read. There's a lot of books, e-books, even if you can't afford. There are a lot of e-books there. If you discipline yourself, I know it's difficult to sort of have e-books on your phone and then read it because there's a lot of how do you call it? Distractions coming, notifications coming in from your phones and everything. But me personally, when I'm reading my e-books, I like to sometimes go on airplane mode. Yeah, sometimes when I'm not expecting any call, I just go on airplane mode there so that I can narrow in on whatever I'm reading. Or sometimes block some apps, block certain apps or off my data so that I wouldn't be so much distracted with the incoming notifications so that I can focus. And let's say 1 hour I'm deciding to read a book, I do 1 hour, I maybe I off my data and I go all in on the book and I read it because I know how valuable it is to me, because reading sort of expand your horizon. The whole point is, I think when we focus too much on making money, right, the focus is all about making money. Then other aspects of our lives that also are might not be equally crowded. They might be of value, of some priority, right? But when it's always about narrowing on making money and making a living, if you are not careful, other aspects of your existence will be deficient, right? You might make money all right, but you might not be the best person in terms of attitude, character. People might not like to be around you because, I mean, you've made money all right, but you don't know how to actually relate with people in a way that it will keep people around in your circle. And these are all parts of living. Okay, I mean, money is an aspect of living, and how to actually be a good human being, a better human being, have an environment, have an aura, or have a space whereby people want to actually spend time with you. That goes beyond money. right? That goes me. It's purely about your personality, right? So if you are not able to sort of have that kind of aspect of you taking care of and improve on it whilst you are actually working on making your money and making things work out for you, you might get money, alright, but you'll be heavily disappointed because I mean you might not have people even around genuinely to spend time with, because I mean you might have a personality that most people wouldn't even like to be around. So I mean I feel we have a lot to also narrow in. I mean we speak about the leaders, we speak about things that are going on wrong, but how can we also help ourselves? How can we also make ourselves useful in this frustration that we find ourselves in? Because the leaders are not coming to help you. In Africa they don't help people. I mean, it happens once in a while, but Charlie, just take it like that. That nobody's coming to save you. I mean, it's a popular quote, but it's actually very, very potent when you are in Africa. Nobody's coming to save you. So you sort of have to find ways to make things work out for you. And when you have an opportunity to actually go all in on something, you have to understand that where you are now or where you find yourself, if you have not upgraded yourself to a certain level, there will be minimal opportunities for you. So that's why I'm talking about the upgrade. I mean, because we have to find ways to make ourselves useful. We have to find ways to make ourselves, people that, someone that somebody can come to when they need some value or they need help with something, right? Okay, you are a video editor, you are a graphic designer, you are a nurse, you are something. There are a whole lot of things that you can pick on the internet that can actually make you a standout person when it comes to maybe choosing among your peers when there's a decision to be made with regards to who are we supposed to pick. What do you have that is an advantage, okay, over other people, right? And it only comes when you are able to sort of invest in yourself, like really invest in yourself, promote yourself, find ways to actually progress yourself without a system, because the leaders in Africa are not coming to help us. I don't know, maybe you're expecting something new, but Charlie, I'm getting tired of this whole thing of waiting for the leaders. They are not, it won't, I'm sorry to say it, but it's probably not going to change in about 10 years to come. I don't know whether something significantly crazy, crazy in a positive way, will come along to actually shift the system. But if nothing goes extremely crazy, I'm sorry, man, nothing is going to change for a long time. And then we have to find ways to actually redefine our life and our living, our lifestyle in this moment of frustration, and find ways to actually make our life better. So we should find ways to actually improve ourselves. There's a whole lot of ways. It's not only about just going through social media and watching things, but it's actually about how you can also find these contents that are actually going to be of massive value to you. I mean, there are a lot of people that we can follow as there are mentors, good mentors around that we can follow that are doing very well in their various fields that we can tap one or two knowledge from, because you become who you watch and who you listen to. So if you are probably watching or you are around people that you don't aspire to be like them, then probably you are messing with the wrong people. Yeah, so we should find ways to make ourselves useful, learn, improve, find ways to actually make ourselves useful in this kind of situation that we find ourselves in, because we can't wait for our leaders. They are not coming to save us. I'm sorry, man, Charlie. But the truth is the truth. It's not as sweet as maybe you expect it to be, but it's the truth that our leaders are not coming to save us. I'm sorry. So we should find ways to save ourselves. Yes. So that's one of the ways that we can find, that we can devise to actually help ourselves in this frustration that we find ourselves in as youth of Africa and even of the world in a certain kind of way. So I'll end today's edition of Trends. Today's edition is quite different from the usual one, but I felt it's something that I had to update you on, and we pick one or two lessons from, and then Charlie, we see how best we can make ourselves useful, not for only ourselves, but for our family, for our community, for our country, and for the entire world, even in the midst of frustration. Charlie, the name remains Donald, but not Trump. I'll definitely see you on the other side. Peace.